Here is the teenager killed by a fire truck in the chaos of the Asiana airline crash. Tonight, the ABC 7 News team has new details on how she died and the criminal investigation that is now underway as well. Good evening, I'm Dan Ashley.
And I'm Carolyn Johnson. Mong Yi survived the Asiana crash only to be run over by a San Francisco fire truck. Investigators have now passed their case on to the San Mateo County District Attorney for possible charges against the firefighter at the wheel. Using the Public Records Act, the ABC 7 News team today obtained an autopsy report, and Dan Noyes is here now with the story.
Well, Carolyn and Dan, today's news is difficult for the firefighter to hear, who was behind the wheel of the truck that killed the 16-year-old passenger. But it's so hard for her parents back in China. She was an only child. San Mateo County prosecutors confirmed they are now deciding whether to charge a veteran firefighter in the death of 16-year-old Mong Yi, a passenger aboard Asiana Airlines Flight 214 that crashed at SFO on July 6th.
I think we're looking at probably 2 to 3 weeks to make our decision.
The I-Team first reported 2 months ago that 49-year-old Elise Duckett was driving this massive aircraft rescue firefighting rig, Mobile 37, without a spotter. Department policy is 2 firefighters in the truck when fully staffed, but solo driving is allowed in an emergency. The truck rolled over Yi, killing her. That's her body under the yellow tarp. And now prosecutors are considering an involuntary vehicular manslaughter charge against Duckett. Would it be a felony or misdemeanor?
It could be a felony with gross negligence, a misdemeanor without gross negligence, or again, nothing at all, just a tragic accident.
The autopsy report obtained today under the California Public Records Act shows the location of death, runway 28L, cause, multiple blunt injuries, and concludes it was an accident that Mobile 37 ran over Yi.
At least once and maybe even twice.
And maybe even twice. So it could have been the same truck or it could have been 2 trucks.
Right. It could have been the same vehicle or it could have been another vehicle.
Coroner Robert Fulcrow tells me the first impact to Yi's head killed her. The second hit to her body came after she had died. The autopsy's findings were confirmed by various videos Fulcrow reviewed, shot from the fire trucks, a battalion chief's helmet camera, and from the control tower. He says Yi is clearly visible on the ground. Several rescue personnel walk by without providing aid, and a truck covers her in firefighting foam.
When the foam was put out and then the vehicle ran over her, that is very well documented on the video.
Is she covered in foam at that point?
At that point, she is, yes.
Anthony Tarricone represents dozens of survivors from Asiana Flight 214 and the families of the 3 teenage girls who died. The family of Mong Yi is the only one with a case against the San Francisco Fire Department.
Fire department personnel directed 1 vehicle around her while she was on the ground. She was known to be there. She was never properly examined. She was then left unattended.
In July, the I-Team quoted sources who say a firefighter pulled Yi from the plane and left her near the wing before the fire truck ran her over. Tarricone tells me he will file claim papers with the city and county of San Francisco shortly, the first step to a lawsuit. He says Mong Yi's family is struggling with the loss of their only child.
It's just about 3 months now, and of course they're still heartbroken. And it's just a terrible, terrible tragedy for this family and the other families involved as well.
Fire Chief Joanne Hayes-White declined an on-camera interview late today, saying she had not viewed the autopsy report. She confirms Elise Duckett is still working at the airport as a firefighter. She expressed condolences to Yi's family at a news conference in July.
Very difficult to hear. Devastating, heartbroken. There's not a lot of words to describe how badly we feel, how sorry we feel about it.
And the chief told me she had not received a copy of the autopsy report from the coroner, even though she had requested it, so I emailed it to her. She also says she expects the NTSB report on the crash to be done in about a month, but that may be delayed as those NTSB investigators are on furlough right now due to the government shutdown.